All right, hold on a second. I got to get the green screen on there. If I recall, the updating on this takes a while. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that much better? I swear to God, over here, it's like I have this odd, like, I don't know. It's not like uplifting, but like when I'm on TikTok, it's like I have bricks smashing my head down. Like, oh, what can I say over on TikTok? Is the communist leader going to come after me? Is Xi Jinping and Winnie the Pooh going to start having good old bang down fuck times over there? Good God. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry at all. You know what? This is what the thing is. I am so sick of fucking TikTok. And nobody leaves the app because we all are believing that we're going to get fucking paid off of something. And nobody's going to get paid off at TikTok. They're paying everybody jack shit. I digress. Sorry to tell you. I was just going off on that. TikTok is paying their creators about 1/4 of what they should be making. So everybody that I'm aware of, and I'll just say that piece right there before I get back into the news, because TikTok is, you want to talk about fascism?
Gifts.
Oh, they have gifts? Holy fucking shit. YouTube has gifts? Oh, what the fuck? Are you serious? YouTube's got, what's up, Marine? Dude, I didn't even, like, my wife's like, oh, there's gifts. I'm like, no shit. Oh my God, that is amazing. YouTube, I told you these were the king. Fuck TikTok, man. Let's all go to YouTube. Don't even worry about TikTok. Fuck those assholes. So when I look at TikTok, and this is just what I'm saying here because this is going into the news. I can't talk about this on TikTok, so I'm going to talk about this here. If you haven't noticed, TikTok is allowing people be mocking Charlie Kirk on the platform. So I have seen so many people that were mocking Charlie Kirk's death, making fun of him, this, that, or the other, even doing songs and dances about it. You say anything about it, never a violation. You say what's up, Birdie? You say any single thing. What's up, Vegas? You say anything on TikTok that's against liberals, you're fucking taken down like this. But they're openly allowing the mocking of Charlie Kirk on the app. I have seen thousands of these fuckers. And it's just like, you're clearly either paid by the enemy or you're working for the enemy. I don't know what it is exactly with fucking TikTok, but people need to jump ship off that. The only I go there to do live streams and then bring you here. I make content there, and once a day practically I've been making a video telling people to come to YouTube. Why is that? Because I already can see until Oracle takes TikTok over. First of all, people that are being seen aren't being paid like me. So I get seen. I get nearly the views I got, not really as many. Liberal agitators attack me. What's up, Cam? Constantly. Liberal agitators attack me. I've had 3 fucking violations in the last 2 days on TikTok, all of them overturned. And I've had 20 videos disqualified, all of them overturned. So if your algorithm is that fucking bad, how can you sit there and do this? You can make money if people, yeah. Oh, dude, there's actually GIFs on here. Yeah, I just found that out. There's GIFs on YouTube now. So YouTube has GIFs like TikTok. Go look, it's fucking insane. My wife pulled it up. There's a whole field of GIFs just like on TikTok. I'm like, this is what we're talking about. Fuck TikTok. Blacks deserve the same rights. Well, yeah, of course. I thought they already did. I thought it was supposed to be like that a long time ago. Jesus Christ, I do have a video up of what I believe my government should be. It's one of my long form videos. Nobody ever watches my long form shit. They only watch the fucking shorts, but whatever. That's YouTube, I guess, and that's what it is. It's true, and if my chat locks up, you'll have to let me know. Because sometimes I thought you were based. Of course I'm based. That doesn't mean I don't believe everybody's equal. Base doesn't mean you're not unequal. What do you want from me? You know what I'm saying? You got to understand there's certain, like I'm an anthropologist, okay? So I know, what's up, Jimmy? Okay, so while you're here, before I get into the news, and I still have to make a video for this, but I'll debut it here. I'll debut it here. This is clothing that was sent to me from Jim Eagle Outfitters. Right here. You can find this on Jim Eagle Outfitters. He has a website and a TikTok page, probably the fourth one like me. And they're not bad. They're pretty good. I'll probably wear this one quite a bit. I'll wear them on my live streams from time to time, of course. It's a Jim Eagle Outfitters shirt there. And then we have here, I like this one right there. Sorry, it's my green screen. You know what I'm talking about. But on the back, we've got the Second Amendment. Yeah, so that's good right there. So go check out Jim Eagle Outfitters. Here, he's on my page right now, but also check him out online. Jim Eagle Outfitters, very nice. And also, if you're going to buy Charlie Kirk merch, do it from Turning Point USA. Don't buy it anywhere else. So, big news as of, well, we already know the news. Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, the funeral of Charlie Kirk's ceremony will begin in Phoenix, Arizona at this football stadium. And then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time, Charlie Kirk's funeral ceremony or service will begin. It just says super chat. Okay, I'm still learning this myself. Well, whatever's clever. What's up, BG John? Yeah. So that'll be Charlie Kirk's funeral on Sunday. So we'll try to live stream that either here on YouTube or on Fuckbag Talk. Obviously, anybody with prestige and merit goes to YouTube, of course. Every Jim Dandy will go over to TikTok. But I don't know if you can put that here on TikTok or YouTube without copyright infringement. Now, I would hope people wouldn't copyright a funeral, but you know, ABC. Fucking. Anyway, so demoralized Democrats rally to besiege ICE Center in Chicago. So earlier today, there were several agitators that were protesting in front of an ICE office. It was about 50 people. Thank you, Birdie. There it is. Look. See, Birdie. She's the first gifter. Look at that shit. Oh, my God. There it is. Out of fucking mouth of babes. Look at that. And so, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. I'll be watching. I say, me too. Absolutely. Or I'll, be doing it. Hell yeah, yay me. So they arrested a bunch of people, fired pepper spray. They were arresting people in Chicago. There's been a big pushback against ICE agents in Chicago, quite a bit throughout the United States. I don't think it's a conducive way to do it. There has to be something better. Like my whole thing is I think that home prices will decrease. What's up, America? As illegal aliens are removed. Thank you, Dalton. I've never seen that. As he's my second. What's up, America? But that's just a wish. We really need to talk about several things. Home prices are a big thing. What's up, Steph? I have so much to talk about. It's ridiculous. We'll just start with Jimmy Kimmel. So, as you know, Jimmy Kimmel was suspended from late night because of what he said. What's up, Dredd? Because of what he said about Charlie Kirk, saying that the shooter was a MAGA. Now, of course, that's a conspiracy theory being spun by the left. So, then you have Jimmy Kimmel saying that, and then the network ABC says, well, we're going to cancel your show. Now, here's the fucked up part of this. ABC says that the government did not talk to them first before they canceled Kimmel for his comments. The government states that they told ABC, and I mean the FCC, thank you, Gina. Thank you, my friend. States. Thank you, BG, with the shit. Holy fuck. Oh, that's funny. So, did the FCC threaten a license before they canceled Kimmel or after? Because that could be a question for the Supreme Court. On top of that, the late night hosts are gathering together saying that it's basically because of a merger that these people are getting fired between big telecommunications companies. Now, regardless of the situation, Sinclair Media and another one, I can't remember what it is, states that they will not air Jimmy Kimmel even if he comes back without an apology and a donation to the Kirk family, which is more fucked up in its own sense. So now Donald Trump comes out and says, we're going to cancel Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, that other fuck wipe, whatever his name is, I can't remember. Thank you, Bertie. And The View. So now people are saying it's an attack on free speech. Now, this is where it starts getting hairy, because where does the free speech line end and where does it begin? Because conservatives are framing it as that Kimmel violated the terms of getting an FCC broadcasting license, which is basically saying that on the FCC's broadcasting standards, you can't say certain words, you can't belittle certain people, you have to act professional, etc., etc. ABC basically says we canceled Kimmel because we feel he violated that license agreement, and we did it before the FCC fucked us, right? Thank you, Mabel Cat, by pulling our license, which they threatened. The late night hosts, God bless them and their stupidity, says that it's a free speech cancellation, which I don't believe it is a free speech cancellation. It's a decency code cancellation. Now, this is where it gets more fucked up, because now you have Trump calling for the cancellation of other people. What's up, Kathy? Thank you, Stephanie. Which he's entitled to do with his free speech. Thank you, Stephanie. However, if the FCC acts as Trump's arm of censorship, then that's a violation of the First Amendment. If the FCC acts independently as a decency standard model, then it's not a violation of free speech. And that's the way the Supreme Court's going to look at it. However, proving or disproving that Trump supporting FCC head is not doing the will of Donald Trump, thank you, Dalton, is going to be a very tough thing for both sides. What's up, Steph? So the liberals, no matter what, are going to say that all these late night fucks are canceled because of their political leanings. And the FCC will say one of two things. One, it's a violation of decency. And two, you led cancel culture, so fuck you. Now, my thing is I don't mind what's going on in certain instances with these ghouls being fired from their job, because that is an employment aspect, not a government aspect. So if you take a job, if you take somebody saying a bunch of racist shit or somebody making fun of somebody's death, you send it to their job and they say, oh, we're a hospital or a school, we're firing you because you're an unempathetic douchebag. Well, then that's the company. That doesn't mean anything about free speech. But if the government says you need to be canceled, oh, and we'll put you in jail or fine you because of what you said, not on a broadcasting license, like if you sat here and did it yourself, now that's a violation of free speech. But where did Kimmel stand? Well, that's up to the FCC and ABC. Both of them are in agreement to get, oh, I got my green matcha right, y'all. Oh, yes. And so we're looking at where is the line between what the FCC requires for decency standards, which I think is stupid. Like, I lived in Australia. In Australia, there's full frontal nudity on television. So you'll have kids' cartoons, the news, then full frontal nudity on a girl getting banged out in some horror movie. And you're like, what the fuck? How is that possible? And they say fuck, shits, and cunts on there. Well, the reason is because they don't have the same standards. They can do whatever they want down there. Exactly, Maureen, you're damn right. So in Australia, you can see the full frontal titty movies. In America, they put censor bars or they zoom in on the girl's mouth, right? Thank you, Steph. And it's like, okay, so in a way, Australia is more and less free. Same with Japan, same with China. Everybody's got a different fucking leaning and wiggle when it comes to their freedom. But the United States is the only one that gives all of its freedom to people that don't matter politically. It's absolutely fascinating. What's up, America? So,
Kathy.
is that Kathy?
Kathy sent you the clock.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. And what's up, Steph Cox? And so when you see America and you say, well, 10% of the people are offended by some speech. Okay, well, let's punish the 90% for this 10%. Thank you, Stephanie. Other countries don't do that. Other countries say, if you're offended by this speech, fuck yourself. Thank you, Dalton, because most people aren't, and we'd go with the majority. Even places you would classify as dictatorships, as long as you're not talking shit about the government. That's the difference between us. It's like in New Zealand. You can say fucks and shits on TV with full frontal nudity, but if you talk bad about the government, you'll be arrested possibly. Well, holy fuck, how does that work? So you're less free on this aspect, but you're more free on this aspect. Isn't that how it is on most of the places in the world? You know what I'm saying? And so that America, on the other hand, is breaking its neck for some reason to pander. I'm not talking minorities as far as skin color. I'm talking to political minorities. Stop filming, get a job. I have a job. It's called going at your mom's house every night. I work on computers. Thank you, Charlie. What's up, America? Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I do a tech job, by the way, first. And then we also have other employment opportunities that we can do. I work between 2 and 4 jobs, depending on how much money I make at that time and want. And then there's social media if I'm lucky. So, like, everybody has the dream. Well, I'm a delivery guy and I work on computers. And then, of course, maybe one day I'll get famous and a shitload of money, right? But that's all a pipe dream. And if it happens, it's like winning the lottery. And if it doesn't, then I'll still follow Jacksepticeye and watch his fucking videos. Fuck your face. That's what we're doing here. So, don't know what to tell you, man. John Thune says Chuck Schumer made it very clear he wants a shutdown. So there's a bill that's trying to be passed for a budget. All we're getting is a budget bill to keep the government open. And Senator Chuck Schumer says he wants... oh, what's up, Paul? How you doing? Senator Chuck Schumer says he wants health care for illegal aliens paid by American citizens and all this other dumb shit. Obviously, it's a no-go where the Democrats are trying to shut down the government, much like the conservatives did the first time around. What a shocker. Rob Reina, what's up? Thank you, Mabel Cap. Rob Reina is now saying that the Republicans and MAGA has declared war on the left. Of course, as you know, this is after they shot Charlie Kirk. I don't care even if I'm not politically aligned. I'm not letting liberals off the hook for Charlie Kirk. What is that? Did somebody give a gift?
Yeah, Mabel Cat gave a high five.
Oh, yeah, duh, sorry. I like the gifting here. I can't believe it's finally happened. Thank you, Steph Cox. And they even have a GG here? Oh, dude. Then what's the point of TikTok? I just got to get my people over here. That's it. If I could get half of you over here, I'd be fine with that. Spread the word. Come to TikTok or come to YouTube. Everybody that you follow that follows me over on that shit box, tell them to come over here, and I'll make it worth your while. That's right. We'll fucking really get going over here because this is a more professional setting. We'll make some money together. We'll fucking get better cameras. We'll get like a setup. I'll bring some of you on. Hell yeah, Melissa. That's what I'd really like to do. Like, I've met BG John. He could come for a podcast episode, but we need to have a good film, and I need to figure out what I'm doing with YouTube. So if anybody knows how to do like metadata on my long form video, hell yeah, what's up, Melanie? So like if anybody's good, like I'm good at YouTube from like 2017. If anybody knows how to do like YouTube metadata now, and like please help, because the long form videos, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here because it's been so long since I've done it. And I don't want to use AI to fucking write descriptions for me. Metal is what I do. What you want. Oh, what's up, America? Metal? Shit. I'll tell you what. Talking about music, or are you talking about forging? Anyway, but YouTube is simply better. Don't forget. What's up, America? I can't say hi to people. That's not good. Seriously? Oh. Oh, Reddit is now seeking a new AI to deal with Google. Jason Bateman says we can't let Jimmy Kimmel's show get pulled. It's about freedom of speech. Yeah, so was Charlie Kirk about freedom of speech. And you shot him. I think you're right, Dredd. So liberals are now worried about freedom of speech as one of you liberals killed Charlie Kirk. I have no sympathy for you liberals. Thank you, Louie. And the reason I have no sympathy doesn't have to do with your politics. It's your general overall shitty behavior. I saw a woman on X today that was basically saying, quote, nearly quote, conservatives are so uneducated, but you make them feel stupid. So you have to quit shaming conservatives because they will only really react to slow, methodic talking. Thank you. Is it Tay? I'm going to call you Tay. What's up, Tay? How you doing? And the thing is that that's not what it is. Conservatives have a lot of education. I went to grad school, for fuck's sakes. We don't like people being pompous as fuck, right? So liberals, you have to understand, it's not your policies, it's your general attitude. That's what the problem is. When you are mean to people initially off the bat, and you say, oh, well, you want to secure the border, you racist piece of shit, immediately that stops people from hearing your position, even if it's logical, because you initially insulted the person. You see what I'm saying? So it'd be like one of those things that you were like, oh, hey, what's up? You like Christianity? Guess what? You're a dumb bitch and I fucked your mother last night. Hey, how you doing? Vote for me. You see what I'm saying? How that works? Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like really, like how's that gonna work? Like you're literally saying, fuck your face, you racist, now vote for me. I'm gonna destroy your life one way or another, vote for me. You have to, the phrase, you win more flies with honey than vinegar is a real point you need to learn here, right? So when you come out and you say, I'm going to protest Charlie Kirk's funeral, I'm going to mock Charlie Kirk's death, that doesn't win you voters. That makes your echo chamber and the people around you, right, say that you're doing good, and the other people don't want to be around you. They flee from you on purpose, right? And it's like, well, hold on a second. You mean when I shame and talk shit to somebody, they don't like it? It's like, yeah, no fucking shit. Obviously, like we have the say, I don't give a fuck about January 6th. Fuck you. You lost your right when you shot Charlie Kirk. Go fuck yourself. Thank you, Tony. You don't get to sit there and bring up January 6th. That was barely shit. So first of all, to anybody that's going to talk about January 6th, you call that an insurrection? I saw worse insurrection in Sri Lanka when they took over the parliament. I saw worse just recently in Nepal. This was not an insurrection. This was stupidity and a bunch of people mixed with political agitators and rednecks. So let's fucking get our shit right here. I mean, that's what it is. I don't know what to tell you. January 6th was barely shit. It's only because we're in America and we don't see that type of shit. Throughout the world, that's not an unnatural thing. It's happened in Ukraine. It's happened in England before. It's happened in Germany. It's happened in Russia. It just happened in Sri Lanka and Nepal. It's happened in Nepal twice. They killed the whole royal family once. So it's like, well, I don't give a fuck what you think, asshole. If you tell, well, I think it's a weak argument. Great, wonderful. You're irrelevant to me. Your opinion is irrelevant to me. I don't give a fuck what you think. Fuck you. Get off my page. I don't want you here. It's not bigotry. You're just an asshole. Because you don't understand what I'm trying to say. You jump to conclusions before I even finish a thought. Look how fucked up you are. Thank you, Steph. I mean, ridiculous nonsense. I don't even get a point across before you start talking shit. You don't even know me. You motherfuckers don't even know me. But I can talk however I want, Craig. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't want you here. I don't need you here. Do you understand that? I don't like you. I don't like liberals. It's just my opinion. And it has nothing to do with your politics. It has to do with your asshole behavior. And you show it every time. Look at how you're acting like a fucking asshole. I mean, am I lying? Look at you. The way you're acting is just asshole, asshole, asshole. That's all it is. You don't bring anything to the table. I'm at least trying to make a solution by putting policy out there. You just talk shit. Talk shit, talk shit, talk shit. Tell me, instead of being a dick wipe, thank you, my friend. Thank you, Jay. Instead of being a dickhead and just spouting asshole shit in the comments, tell me how you would fix the problem. Tell me how you would fix America. Being a dickhead doesn't fix America. You see that? Oh, I'm a dickhead in the comments. You're not putting any policy out here. I mean, what do you want from me? Put a policy out here. What would you do to fix America? Thank you, Stephanie. Talking shit to me is not fixing America. I don't hold political position. That's what my wife was saying. They talk shit to you like I have some power politically. I don't. But if you want to see, I'm a person that talks. You tell me what to say as far as what you think a policy is, and I'll tell the world what you think. I haven't said any facts, Hurricane. You're just telling me there's nothing I've said. I just asked you people to tell me policy. What would you like to see? And you said, check your facts. I haven't said anything. I'm waiting for you. You see what I'm saying? Holy fuck. This is what I'm talking about. You're so angry about fucking conservatives that you can't even make policy. This is my problem with I'm sorry. But this is my problem with liberals in general, is the whole time Trump's been in power, what have you done to make policy? You didn't get the Epstein files released. You didn't fucking fix the tax code. You didn't do shit with fucking immigration. All you did was talk shit. All you had to do was basically go and say, okay, Trump's big, beautiful bill was a piece of shit. If you would have fought, it would have been stopped. But instead, you sat on your ass and yelled about it and did nothing. Now you say, well, what about Trump's big, beautiful bill? You were the ones in control. You had still a minority status in the government. You could have stopped some of the shit, and you didn't. That's why I don't like you, because instead of leading, you don't do anything. You march and protest and yell. But what are you doing at the government level to fix anything? Anything, liberals. Anything. Anything. What have you done? Name anything the liberals have done since Trump's been in power to stop Trump in power. Any policy, any fucking, are you going to legalize marijuana, decriminalize it? Not a word. You going to get rid of private prisons? Not a fucking word from you assholes. You going to get rid of fucking credit card debt that's 30, or credit card interest rates 30%? No, of course you're not. You got to get rid of third-party debt collecting, repeal Citizens United, get rid of the Patriot Act? Nope, nope, and nope. Haven't done shit. So where are we doing this? Like I said, you don't know me. You haven't even let me spout my politics yet, which I'm doing because my wife's going to hate me when I do it, but that's okay. So hear me out with my fucking politics first and then talk shit. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to make sense. I'm trying to pull the best parts of both governments, thank you, Moist, into something evolved and new. Moist critical. By the way, Charlie's amazing. Love, yeah. What? Moist fart. Oh my God. So let me run through my politics. Fuck you, asshole. Was it Evangeline? Fuck you. I bet you're a Christian conservative, aren't you? I bet you're a fucking Seventh-day Adventist, aren't you? Okay, so listen to my politics first. We're going to start now and see if you like it or not. And if you have any changes, then we'll likely go through it together. But don't be a dickhead first. So, point one, before you're a fuckhead. Do you agree in term limits? We should have term limits. Point one of my politics is I believe we should have term limits, maximum 8 years, even term limits for the Supreme Court. There. Point two, end lobbying, period. End lobbying, period. Lobbying should be illegal. End it, period. Done. Fuck lobbying. Okay? Number three, end the IRS and end income tax. Nobody should pay tax under $150,000 a year. $300,000 for a household. The rich should pay all the taxes. Fuck the rich, right? The rich pay 95%. Thank you, Bertie. They bitch about it. Let the rich pay all the taxes. Fuck them. They have so much money, they can kiss the fattest part of my ass. Thank you, Steph and Bertie. So the rich need to pay their pony. Fuck them. Number four, end property taxes. Anybody think you can really own your house if you're paying property taxes? And this is what I'm talking about. Like you said, no tax under 600K. See, this is what we're talking about, a reciprocity in values. Thank you, Dalton. And this is where we get real agreement here instead of just yelling at each other like a bunch of dumbasses. Number five, no tax on food. Why would you tax food or water? What the fuck are we doing here? Taxing food or water? That's stupid. No tax on food or water. Fuck that shit. Health insurance companies need to accept most necessary surgeries unless they're cosmetic. Otherwise, they won't be able to operate as a health insurance company in America. Sound good? Sounds good to me. End monopolies in the United States. Even BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street. Fuck them. Thank you, Stephanie. I hope this gives you a little more background onto my actual politics instead of douchebaggery of what people actually think I am. Number 8, uphold the First Amendment by, is it restoring the Smith-Mund Act or is it repealing it? Whatever, the government can't use propaganda and media. Whatever that act is, we restore that. It fails me right now. Sorry. Second Bill of Rights needs to be implemented in the United States. If anybody has a brain, you'll know what the Second Bill of Rights is. I hope you do have a brain. The Second Bill of Rights was an economic Bill of Rights that was proposed by President Franklin Roosevelt. My chat just froze. Can you get on here and make it so I can see the chat? Hold on, my chat just froze, so I have to get on my computer and look at it. Okay, so without my computer, I'll just say the Second Bill of Rights, damn it. The Second Bill of Rights is an economic Bill of Rights that was initially proposed by Franklin D. Roosevelt. That would have given people an economic Bill of Rights and safety nets that would make there be no poverty or no want in the United States. That would be mainly paid by corporations and giant business. That included 1, the fucking right to a job, 2, the right to sell your shit, if I recall off the top of my head, at a decent price, 3, the ability to sell without any monopolies, 4, the right to a good education that's either cheap or nearly free, 5, the right to a house as far as having one for your family, 6, the right to recreation, clothing, and food, being able to afford it, 7, the right to decent and adequate medical care, 8, the right to the elderly and people that are, people that are elderly and suffering from disease will be financially taken care of. So that's the Second Bill of Rights, which was initially brought about by Franklin Roosevelt, but he died before it could happen. So he died the same year that happened, or he was talking about that. So that really fucked the United States. So it's basically a social safety net system for the United States. Okay, now that I have my computer back, this is what it was. The right to a useful job, the right to earn enough to provide adequate food for food, clothing, and recreation, right for every farmer to sell his product at a return which gives him and his family a decent living, the right of every businessman, large and small, to trade in an atmosphere of without unfair competition from monopolies, the right to every family to a decent home, the right to adequate medical care, the right to protections from old age, sickness, and accident, and the right to good education. That's the Second Bill of Rights. But it's not communist because it's paid for by the tax base, which is not the common man. And it also requires that the government makes investments into small business, which a lot of people don't want to do. It's really fucking difficult because they say, well, we're not supposed to be doing that. But in order to make things work here in America and get rid of these taxes, you're going to have to do that. So anyway, continuing from that, the rich need a 60% investment act. That means if you're wealthy or you have a giant company in America, 60% of your workforce would have to be in the United States and 60% of your products would have to be made here. So you can't just make products in America or overseas, sell them, and then not hire American people. That'll subdue the conservatives on that particular aspect. So now point 11 is a Department of Government Standards and Practices. But what that would do is a department that basically stops planned obsolescence throughout the United States. So if you have a product that you find that's subpar, you could take that to the government and they would review that to see if it was up to standard in the United States or if it was just some piece of shit trying to rip you off for profit. Then on top of that, there's a practices department where you can turn in scammers in the United States and scammers from overseas, and they would work with overseas governments to shut down like Indian call centers and shit like that. So that's a big part of that. I like that. That's the standards and practices department. Now, this wouldn't be law, but I would like to incentivize a 4-day work week, either 4 8-hour days or 4 10-hour days, to give the American people a little more recreation than what they have now. We don't have that. So point number 13, we got to end private prisons. And I have a little bit of well, not personal, ending private prisons. So in the United States, you can't have freedom with a private prison. As long as people are going to jail for a profit, right, then you're fucking over freedom in America. So you have to take profiteering out of prisons. I suggest that you take the private prisons, make them illegal, strip them of their resources and assets, and give that to the Bureau of Prisons that's the federal and state level. And then you kick out the private prisons and say you're never allowed to operate here. You'll be arrested if you continue. So that's, no profit prisons. Fuck that. You should never do that. How can you have freedom with for-profit prisons? That's fucking stupid. So the next point is decriminalize marijuana. So no, the states don't have to sell marijuana, but you can't jail anybody for marijuana. So you can have just decriminalized. So if I buy weed in New York, I can travel through Kansas and not go to jail. You don't have to sell it in Kansas. You just can't throw anybody in jail for weed. And I think that's a fantastic situation because the war on drugs has lasted a very long time and it needs to stop. However, other things like fentanyl, cocaine, and heroin need to have an increased penalty unless you go to some type of treatment facility. Point 15 would be the Veterans Housing Act, along with the Military Mortgage Reduction Act. Thank you, Weatherspoon. Now, the Veterans Housing Act would be the longer you're in the service, the cheaper your house. And the Military Mortgage Reduction Act is the longer you're in the service, the lower your mortgage rate. So if you go career in the military, it'll go as low as 0.01%. And if you go career in the military, you can get a house for 10% of the value. It might have, but you know what? The poor are getting... We need more assistance here because the rich simply have too much. I believe that there should be harsh animal cruelty penalties, up to 20 years in jail for some animal cruelty situations. We do need to secure the border using the military and electronic means in order to stop illegal immigration, but also provide a path forward for people that are illegal, specifically those between the ages of 16 and 24. We need desalinization plants built out on the West Coast to fuel Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Also pipe in water to fix the Colorado River situation. I'd like to see a Patriot Institution Act that would be basically saying if your business or your dealings are found to benefit a company on purpose over the United States, you couldn't operate here. Felons should be allowed to vote and travel internationally. So felons should be able to travel internationally and vote. And non-violent felons, so if you committed a felony when you were 18 and you're 40 and you're a pastor now, I don't see why you shouldn't own a gun. I don't care. Like, that's not a problem. Point 22, the United States needs to have a high-speed rail network. You can hire 1 million people. If you didn't notice, China has an amazing high-speed rail network. China has a great high-speed rail network, and our airlines suck here in America. So if you had a high-speed rail network connecting all the major cities, you would be able to have everybody go 300 miles an hour and not use aircraft, and it would force them into a real competition. Make third-party debt collecting illegal. So any type of third-party debt collecting. So like if you owe Visa and you don't pay it, Visa can come for you. No more selling debt for pennies on the dollar and you getting sued. Fuck that bullshit. Get rid of third-party debt collecting. Infrastructure Evolution Act. So some of that money from the wealthy that pay in, instead of fixing the infrastructure, we need to evolve the infrastructure. I already talked about the high-speed rail, but also things like heated roads in cold areas and luminescent roads that absorb the light and then glow blue at night. They already have those. Some places in the world that'll cost a lot of money. Who fucking cares? Credit card interest rates need to be capped at 10% with usury laws coming back into the United States as a matter of course. Redistrict America without the influence of illegal aliens. Adhere to the Constitution to the letter of the law. Anybody in government that's a lawmaker would not be able to do stock trading, right? So no stock trading. So anybody that's a senator, politician, Supreme Court, whatever, not allowed to do any stock trading. That's illegal if you do. Lower the retirement age down to 60. Go after companies that hired illegal aliens. Like I said, path for illegal aliens age 16 to 24 to become residents. End the Patriot Act. End Citizens United. Those two are fucking bullshit. What? Oh my God. I can't say that. Clean the air or clean the water and the land in the United States. Don't focus as much on carbon. Focus on cleaning the water, cleaning the land. Also getting rid of the Great Pacific Garbage Gyre. If you know what the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is, would love to see that fucking gone. It's a mess. I would like to see weather modification made illegal except in rare situations. Common sense abortion laws. So in cases of incest, rape, life of the mother, you can have an abortion and up to 30 days. Over-the-counter RU-486, which is the morning after pill, fantastic. Other than that, get your shit together. I'm not paying for your fucking abortion with my tax dollars. Yeah, Social Security is a big problem. Government investment into small business, not big business. So if you remember when the government was bailing out big business, yeah, fuck that shit. The government needs to give money and invest. So my plan for this would be the government invests, 10%, 20% into your business. And then later on, they would get an incentive of maybe like 1% more taxes for 10 years or something like that. And then we have number 41, which is a school security force nationwide where former veterans and police officers are paid to patrol schools. So each school, so I've already done the math. There's 130,000 schools throughout the United States. You would need approximately 350 to 400,000 former police and veterans. We have 8.5 million veterans under the age of 50. And I don't know how many retired cops. And then you protect the schools from psycho gunmen that are shooting people. And then that's my framework for a government. Now, if you want to add to it, or if you want to talk shit and be an asshole again, then that's what it is. But that's my framework for government. So tell me how I'm a MAGA Nazi again. I mean, fuck's sakes, I'm trying to bring in a second Bill of Rights here, and somehow I'm the MAGA Nazi. So what the fuck? I think everybody calling everybody a fascist has gotten a little out of hand. All right? We have to understand that the Democrats and Republicans, yeah, exactly. So Democrats and Republicans are both out of control. All right? The left is getting violent and the right is stealing everything and making the rich billionaires. So we have a fundamental problem here. The fundamental problem is one side's willing to use violence and the other side is turning a blind eye to why it may exist. Saying basically, okay, see, and we can work with that framework. And that's just basic. I have a plan to give Native Americans half their land back. Well, a third of it. And it requires new cities being built around the high-speed rail systems. It includes partitioning land to tribal groups and big conglomerations. So, it's an odd thought I had. So, just hear me out. So, high-speed rail network and freight rail going all the way across the country from major cities. So all this open land, we just, the what's called unorganized land, the land that's never going to be used in the next 500 years, obviously. Nobody lives there. There's no, give that to the tribes, divide that up as a conglomeration, put major cities there. We build the major cities like China did with the goat. Yeah, I've been to a reservation. Yeah, I've been to New Mexico, of course. So I lived in Australia with Aboriginals. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I can play the didgeridoo. I'm not some dumb bumpkiss, even though I am an old man probably. I'm 43, so what do you want from me? But what you do is in between the areas where the high-speed rails are, you make that native land in a lot of cases. You divide it up among the tribes. I understand it's not going to be the same spiritual land like Manhattan. I can't give back. It's a paved over mess. I can't give the Seattle back to the tribe of Chief Seattle because it's a paved over fucking mess. But what I can do is I can give you land to divide with other tribes, big swaths of it, and the rail lines go on the edges of it, and we put major cities that are administered by native populations that pay $0 in taxes while the newcomers pay taxes, and it basically starts to become commerce, shopping, and fucking high-speed rail stops on the way. And then that brings in and drives those cities and locations. And then the United States starts public works projects like building roads to them, putting electricity, all this other shit. And the building of that city and population, right, gives back to the community. So the amount of people there that are, so like the native populations pay zero taxes, but the people that come in have an outside tax put on. That tax goes in a certain percentage back to the government. And if you do enough of them, it should equal out the cost of it. And then you have Native Americans administering major cities in the United States. And we call it kind of cut and dry. This is the best we can do, being that it's the year 2025. Sorry, the people from the past all got killed. I can't do anything, but at least we're getting a shot of it. So anyway, so that's my framework for politics. So I'm reading the chat here. Thank you, Samuel. If you see any other things in here that you would like to add to that, or if you have any arguments, just let me know in the chat. I don't know if you can bring guests up on here. I don't think you can. A buddy of mine was talking about StreamYard, so we'll talk about that. But yeah, and I'm not turning a blind eye to like racism and all this other shit. I'm just angry at the left for making fun of a dead man. Is it that difficult to see why you wouldn't be angry about that, knowing that that's the case, that it's like a weird, snarky, malignant narcissism? I mean, it's really not anything against liberals. It's just the fact that why are you so fucking like that? Stop making fun of a dead person. Like, All you have to do is shut up. You don't have to like put your 2 cents in like the Crypt Keeper with it. Like, I didn't like most or half of Charlie Kirk's things, but you don't see me dancing on his grave. And you also don't see me well, I do uplift a little more because he's a dead man. But it's like, it's heartless to me. And so I know a lot of people say, well, making fun of Charlie, talking shit, blah, blah, blah. There's a time and a place. The day he died is not the time or the place, right? It'd be like if somebody went to your grandmother's funeral and started dancing a song and saying, fuck your grandma, fuck, and then piss in her face and all this other shit. And it's like, can you just stop for a minute? I understand your politics. Can we take a Christmas break for a minute, please? Right? It's like the Republicans are calling for a civil war. The left is calling for I don't even know what. Now it's everybody's bitching about Jimmy Kimmel after you shot Charlie Kirk. And it's like, come on, man. Like, oh, my God. Oh, thank you, Steph and Dalton. I just want there to be some peace between the left and the right. And I think I found the linchpin of peace outside of the malignant narcissist. I think I know how liberals and conservatives can now come together. So I was looking at all kinds of things, polls throughout America where people differ on issues and where they come together. One of the most poignant things where the left and the right comes together right now is both sides don't trust corporations. Both sides, conservatives and liberals, had a negative sentiment towards major corporations in America. Were liberals saying that they're too wealthy and they have too much money and they're fucking people with price gouging, and the conservatives saying that they're lowering the standards in quality and shrinkflation. So liberals and conservatives have a basis to form a new government against these dumb fucks. You don't need conservatives. You don't need liberals. You have to evolve your thought out of this. And you say, well, how do you evolve it? You take the best things of conservatives, and I know liberals will find that hard to fathom, and liberals, the conservatives, you got to take the best things with liberals. So what's the best things with liberals? Well, we've got legal marijuana. You don't like corporations. You believe felons should vote and travel. You don't like private prisons. You want to repeal Citizens United and the Patriot Act. Those are 6 points to build a government. 6 points to build a government right there. That's it. There have been revolutions for less than that. And you're telling me that the left and the right can't come together on this. All we can do is go online and call each other stupid and yell at each other how nobody has education, even though we all graduated from college, right? I mean, come on. It's like, how many times do people come in here? You don't have any yet. Well, I went to grad school, and I'm sure you went to college too. So no, we're both educated. We both just think about it a different way. But if the end result is evolving the country one way or another, then there shouldn't be an issue. It should only be a matter of circumstance, how we get there, not whether we get there or not. And I think liberals and conservatives have lost the point. And this is why I was worried initially. I figured under Donald Trump, everybody would just be fighting with each other. Conservatives are not backing down, and they're not gonna. And liberals won't stop fighting, ever. And I'm wondering really where it started. That's my whole point, because if we could find out where it started, if we could retrace and regress all this type of shit. Okay, so it's kind of like, and I'm going to say some personal stuff about Russia and Finland here. So my family had some friends from Finland, and they lived on the border with Russia, okay? So they were Finnish, but they also knew people that were Russian. So the Russians invaded Finland. Finland was right-wing conservative, if you want to call it that. Russia was going through the Red Revolution, came up, Stalin invaded it. The people that lost their territory were on the middle. They were Finnish, declared themselves Finnish, but friendly to the Russians. Even though they had different ideologies, they were still friendly. I like Russia, blah, 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 but I'm Finnish, right? And so then when they came out and they started a war, why is it? Because the communists didn't want peace. They just wanted to kick them out. So the Hoodalanans had to leave fucking Russia and go to fucking Finland. And then they were fucked, came over here and did all this shit, right? And lived here until they all died. They both died. I think they fucking have kids or whatever. But the bottom line is they got kicked out of Russia, even though they were trying to be peaceful, and that was initially Finnish territory. So what can we learn from that? Is it that no matter how peaceful you are, that eventually you'll be occupied by somebody? Or is it the exact opposite, and there's a way for some type of peace to come together between the left and the right? Most people would say no. Now, I thought for a long time that there would be peace between America and Russia, or NATO and Russia. I thought that was going to happen by now. I'm actually quite disappointed that we're on the precipice of war between NATO and Russia. It's really, hell yeah, some Scandinavian. I'll tell you what, man, I know a Scandinavian architect. I'll just leave it at that, but nice guy. He's a little more liberal than me, but that's okay. He was European, so what do you expect? So anyway, that's my policy. So if you like it, sorry. If you don't, if you think I'm a communist or a socialist, I don't care. If you think I'm some MAGA person, I don't care. Call me what you will, but don't call me late for supper. So here's a weird thing I want to talk about Donald Trump. Tell me if you guys think this is good or not. Who's paying for the White House ballroom? So donors, people that pledge $5 million could have their names etched in the ceiling of the new ballroom. Now, I have to say I'm a little perturbed about that. Why are people selling that type of shit? Anyway, whatever. That's a non-starter. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think about Charlie Kirk? Whether you like him or hate him, whether you disagree, agree, whether you're in it or out of it, whatever it is, what's your thoughts on Charlie Kirk? What's up, Marine? Do you think that Charlie Kirk was good for America? I think any free speech is good for America, mostly. Thank you, Vegas. What's up, Vegas? Everybody enjoying their Doge checks? Oh, yeah, so let me talk about that for a minute. Let me talk about your Doge check. What's up, India? How you doing? Are you actually from Punjab? Are you actually from there? What's up, my friend? India's fun. I've never been there, but always would like to go. But don't just initially think I'm some fucking bigot. Don't fucking do that and judge a book and all that other shit. Everybody, every liberal out there was saying, give it a chance. Well, then give it a fucking chance. So please, for fuck's sakes, I don't want to hear any nonsense. Okay, so Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez appears to smear Charlie Kirk before a House resolution voting for him. Ocasio-Cortez now has her eye on the presidency. Do you believe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has the ability to become president of the United States? If so, why or why not? You say no. Wife immediately says absolutely not. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think AOC? If not, what do you believe is a Democrat stronghold that could go against MAGA? So, Donald Trump, okay, so this is I want to just talk about this right now because a lot of people right and left will never fathom the day. Here in the year 2027, starting in January, the MAGA movement will officially be a thing of the past. There will be spirit of it continuing. There will be outliers of it continuing. But MAGA is going to basically falter after January 2027 when the new president comes in. So, you have on the liberal side saying that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, Bloomberg was in there for some fucked up reason, And there was another person or two. I think they were trying Kamala. I can't stand her. Please don't do Kamala. The Republican side has no one. The Republican side will say we can put J.D. Vance in. J.D. Vance will not beat them. That's just a fact. So, barring some type of random firebrand that comes out of the back end out of nowhere, the Republicans will be going through a power vacuum. Now, why do I think J.D. Vance can't win? I don't think J.D. Vance can win because I believe his own party will basically sabotage him. I believe that the liberals won't affect it one way or another. They'll pick who they're going to pick. But I think that the Republicans will sabotage J.D. Vance on purpose. And they would lose an election on purpose in order to get the stigma of MAGA away forever. Because believe it or not, even if you like MAGA, a lot of the people in Congress and the Senate don't, and they're just playing along while Dear Leader is there. Once he's gone, they will turncoat immediately. Right? Just like they always do. Just like what Lindsey Graham did. That's what they do. That's what Republicans do. They turncoat their wishy-washy, at least in our government. Liberals will probably bring out, and I'm not saying they will, but I believe they may bring out a Gavin Newsom, Ocasio-Cortez ticket. There's a reason they're not giving Bernie Sanders the leadership, and I still don't know what it is. I haven't understood. I have not understood why, because, like, here's my thoughts on it. I believe Bernie Sanders was sabotaged in order to make way for Hillary Clinton, who was a number one way to lose. He raised tax. Yeah, it's ridiculous, Vegas guy. So here's my thoughts. The Republicans were going to lose to either Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton. No question. Jeb Bush was never going to win. Ever. The Republicans and the liberals wanted a fight between Bush versus Clinton. A dynasty fight. Right? And too many people supported Bernie, and then Trump came in. And so when Trump came in, it would be like me coming in against a bunch of people on Valium or something, right? Trump just beat the fuck out of all of them. So, of course, he was going to win the Republican nomination. But Bernie Sanders, they fucked him over. So, the real soul of America was a Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump ticket. Yeah, and that's what I've said for years, is that Bernie Sanders would have beaten Donald Trump by about 4 to 6 points. That's always been my understanding, is that Bernie Sanders had a popular support narrative that would have netted him at least 4 to 6 points over Trump, probably taking in 325 or 30 electoral votes. However, Bernie Sanders got fucked over by the Democrat establishment, and they put that lying bitch in as the fucking candidate. And so what did the Bernie bros do? Voted for Trump. Yeah, because fuck you. That's why they did that. Then Trump got elected. Trump was never supposed to be there. Neither was Bernie Sanders. It was supposed to be a Clinton-Bush fight. And then Clinton was going to take over, and then they were going to do that shit. It was another extension of the Clintons. Only it would have been on her dime, her movements, which I don't trust her. And a lot of people didn't. And then she pulled her hot sauce out of her purse, and she acted like a fucking racist idiot. And so nobody voted for her. So when Hillary Clinton came out and said, "Hey there, South Carolina, see what this is? Hey, it's Frank's Red Hot. Yeah, you like that, don't you, certain communities? Vote for me." And people are like, what the fuck? Are you serious, you dumbass? You dumb bitch? Really? You just went racist like that? What the fuck? And everybody saw it. Everyone saw it. And it's like, Oh, fuck. No wonder you lost. But then Trump's going to be gone coming up here. And you have J.D. Vance. And then you're going to have Newsom versus AOC. Let me tell you what I think. Low key, I think that the success of Zohran Mamdani determines the presidency of the next term. I believe that Zohran Mamdani, if he takes over and destroys New York, that will be a whistle against fucking the left. And if Zohran Mamdani takes over New York and does a great job, does 10 times better, he's the left-wing Giuliani, then the left will win. Because the left is trying to find a reason that socialism is going to work. Now, it's a tough say because Mamdani's going to win in New York. The polling is showing, oh, I know, who pays for the ideas? Exactly. He said he wants to tax rich and white people. So I don't know if I like that racial aspect of everything, but Mamdani's going to win in New York by at least 20 points. Like, there's no stop. Like, there's no... You have another small one? Thank you. So I got to chief real quick. We got to smoke a joint. Hold on a second. I'll show. We have the little ones, but they're infused. So Zohran Mamdani is so high up above all of them right now. The only chance the Republicans or even the independents have is for everybody to drop out of the race except for Cuomo and Mamdani. And even Mamdani will fuck that or beat him up. Well, what does he offer? He talks a lot of game, but what he's saying is something that is not what's normally said, especially for New York. You have to understand the state of New York right now. I've been to New York many times recently, the city. New York is not a fucked up place. I know you see bad shit on the news. New York's crime rate is down quite a bit. But New York sees that a lot of very wealthy assholes have run New York for a while. So New York already has a socialist element. It's not like a socialist is getting elected in Lexington, Kentucky, right? This is fucking New York. So, but if this will normalize or break the socialists. So if a socialist, Mamdani, I rode the subway for a week and it was fine. Yeah, exactly. See, Bertie, no problem. So if Zohran Mamdani wins in New York and he makes New York amazing, crime's half of what it is, everybody doubles their, or Tennessee, yeah, exactly. Then Zohran Mamdani will make the socialist push for America to be normalized. And then that's where you're at then. Then you're going to have that coming up as a new option. If it fails and it turns it into a new Baltimore, then you're going to have socialism fizzle out in America. And yes, it's like that. That's where we're at here. And so I'm just like, what about Gavin Newsom? What of Gavin Newsom? Because there's a lot of liberals that don't even like Gavin Newsom. And so I ask, what of Gavin Newsom? What are we doing here? Is Gavin Newsom conducive? See, it's a little one, but it's got a lot of shit in it. So I don't want Gavin Newsom. Here you go. But at what point does America keep doing the same shit and we fail? 60% of America is embarrassed by their financial situation right now. 75% of America has no savings account. 70% lives paycheck to paycheck. So, I've been to California. It's been 6 years, though. Hell yeah, we need our Doge checks. Damn, that's strong. See, you finally get to see what I'm smoking. So I want to, I want to give every benefit of the doubt to the conservatives, but I can't. But we're in the golden age, and I can't give it to the socialists. When I look at it and I say prices for everything in America are still the same, if not more, than under Biden. My gas prices have not gone down a penny since Trump came in. Food prices are up 3% where I'm at. Meat prices up over 20%. House prices are the same. Insurance is the same. Car prices are the same. We get a lot of victories over social justice, which is fine because a lot of the, quote, woke shit went a little bit too far where everybody's a racist, and they're not, right? Just because you have a different opinion doesn't mean you're a racist, right? You can have black conservatives. Duh. What the fuck? Racist ass. Here you go. But I just don't know if capitalism is really going to be holding a lot here, right? In the past, capitalism was fine. But when I see it now, and I look at, quote, capitalism, this doesn't look like this is really helping anybody. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really look like capitalism is just crushing it for the average guy here. It used to, but it doesn't do anything now. The average, quote, American dream in America is $5 million. So it ballooned 10 times in a matter of 25 or 30 years. The American dream should not cost you $5 million. Well, that's another thing, Steelman. It does remove incentive. That's correct. And that's what I worry about. And so you have to say, look, if you do have a measure of socialism, you have to do it where innovation is still championed. And I can understand where if everybody has anything, you won't do shit. So you have to incentivize people to work and do things. Remember, the socialist and communist revolutions were based on very hard work and the labor of the common man breaking his back for the state, not the religion. So, but socialism doesn't pan out either because it's hampered by greed, bureaucracy, and stupidity. Yeah, it is all-time high, Dave. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's the highest it's been ever. Same foreclosures are getting that way too. So I look at this type of shit and I say, look, I want to support capitalism. What's up, Charlie? But I know it's bullshit. Right? You have to understand, I want to support free market capitalism, but it's a piece of shit in its purest form. It's like China's not even communist. They ushered in some free market capitalism into their system, even though the state controls most of it, at least the movements of it, but they allow the options more because China said, well, we have to make money. They've made so much money. Yeah, China's not bad. China's not bad, but the thing is with China is I don't like the restrictions on free speech. Oh, thank you for the gift, my friend. So China does too much free speech restriction. So when I look at it and I say, isn't there a way we can do a society like China without a social credit system? You know what I'm saying? Without being watched by Big Brother. Now in America, you can't do that because people are fucking crazy here. But that's okay. And who really wants to get up at 6 a.m., work 12 to 15-hour days for just a meager amount to live, right? People say, look, and this is where I basically say the younger generation has the right method here. The younger generation says, look, thank you, Charlie. The younger generation says, thank you, Charlie. I don't want to work for 70 years for someone to make my money and then I get to die before I do anything or own anything. The older generation says, you guys are lazy pieces of shit that just want to travel the world and don't do anything. And the younger people say, why should I build for someone to give me nothing in return? Why should I build or labor for you if I can't go travel the world, if I can't have a good meal? Henry Ford stated that when you made his cars, that you should be able to afford one. We don't have any of that now. Most people that work in America can't afford the product they're making. So people at Ford making electric trucks can't buy one. It's 120 grand. So their salary is a truck for the whole year. So the people that work for Ford, Henry Ford's model, can't even afford the fucking shit they're making. So that's how bad out of hand it is. But if you don't deal with it, they'll just send your job to Laos or fucking Vietnam. And then you'll buy Jordans for $200 that are made for $18 in some sweatshop in Vietnam. So what the fuck? So the corporations are really the problem and the government propping them up. But that's liberal and conservative. Because the liberals haven't done shit to fix that. And the conservatives sure haven't. They both basically say, look, the conservatives say, work harder or we'll take away all your social safety net. Get to work, bitch. And the liberals say, we'll give you a social safety net, but we won't make it good for you. But you don't have to work. And it's like, isn't there a way you can make it good for people and fucking work? I sell car parts, people 100 miles for their warranty. They have a catastrophic failure. Exactly. You're damn right, Charlie. I've never had a new car. I've never had a new car either. The newest car I've had is my wife's car. And that's like newish. I've never owned a new car. But the problem is corporations and the rich. But it's so much more than that. Because it's also the misplaced anger of the liberal. So you have the rich. So hear me out. So when the liberals protest, what do? Do they really destroy big business? No, they fight people like you and me on the streets. They get arrested for throwing shit at cops and nothing happens at all. Because they're fighting the wrong fucking people. It's the same with the racial bullshit. Oh, it's all white people. You're fighting, it's not all white people. Most people are in interracial relationships. Nobody gives a fuck. When you talk about white people, it's the wealthy, the top 1,000 wage earners in America. That's the problem. So let's not get it twisted, brothers and sisters. And people of all ages. I'm not in a cult. What the fuck is wrong with this person? You're in a cult! I'm in a cult because I'm calling for mixed socialism with capitalism. So I'm in a cult. Holy fuck, you're a lunatic. Or you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway, so the liberals fight the conservatives, regular people like me, thinking they're MAGA. But they're not. They just want a better life for their family. And they see that liberals have abandoned them. Instead of going after the rich white people. That's your real problem. So the black community says, well, it's the white folks. Well, no, it's the rich white folks. Not the poor white folks don't have anything but the same thing you're going through. Right? In a sense. Then you have the rich, then you have the other people who say, well, we have to fight by race, religion, gender, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, but the problem is the corporations not paying their dues into the country and fucking you financially. And the problem is the rich people, whether they're white or not, having too much goddamn money and fucking you financially. Now, it's easy to see when you see that the top 400 people, wage earners, have $6.6 trillion. And then the bottom 330 million Americans have 2.3 trillion to split. So it shouldn't be too difficult to see where the problem arises, right? All you have to do is follow the money and you'll find out, well, it doesn't have anything to do with poor or middle-class white people. What it has to deal with is a certain number of families that occupy all the money and resources that are generally derived from the initial banking family cartels that initially made our World Bank systems. That's where most of this comes from. What's up, Steph? And so we said, well, rich people get rich multiple times in their life in the stock market. Yeah, and that's why I don't use the stock market as any indicator of how good people are doing. Because 96% of the stock market is owned by those 1,000 rich wage earners. So most people don't have stocks. So when they come out and say, oh, the stock market's up 4% today, it's irrelevant to people like me. I'm poor. So it doesn't matter if the stock market goes up fucking 2,000 points or drops 4,000 points. I don't have any stock at all. I don't have cryptocurrency. I used it all living through Joe Biden. I don't have any stock. I used it all going through Joe Biden. I don't have any fucking money. We barely have anything in the savings account, okay? That's how life is. So it's not conducive for me to say, hey, I'm real up on this hardcore capitalist lifestyle. But it's also not conducive to say if we stop working and get a bunch of handouts and fucking, participation trophies, that's going to fix the world. And it's like there's this weird notion also that if we bend over backwards for people to come to America and we make everything about their race being better than us, then that'll somehow buy us some kind of free pass to do dirty shit. That's what it seems like to me. You have to understand, I've read Malcolm X. I've heard what he said about the white liberal. And I am very leery when it comes to white Democrats and white liberals. I know what Malcolm X said about it. So far, he's been very correct on it. And it seems to me that the modern left that you're seeing is what Malcolm X talked about as the white liberal, which was basically a fox in a hen house, right? That they would use the communities for some type of gain for their own personal benefit, i.e., hey, look at me, I have a black friend. Look at me, I protested because this. Now, uplift me. You see, and that's always been my issue when I see mass liberals. I understand outrage. When somebody dies, cop kills them, yeah, protest, that's fine. But some of the outrage I saw was for very microscopic things, almost like you were trying to get the black community to give you approval that you weren't racist, which was really weird to me. Because if you don't call people by their race generally anyway, you're not that way. You see? So instead of, oh, I have a black friend named Bob, you should just have a friend named Bob. And the first time they meet him, they'll find out if he's black or not. Shouldn't be fucking, oh, well, I'm leading with this. Do you lead with, I'm Christian, gay guy, or whatever? You know what I'm saying? No, you don't. You don't lead with that. So why are you leading with this? That's basically all I'm saying. And so it's disingenuous. And so when I see Malcolm X talk about the white liberal, and then I see the behavior of it, and I put two and two together, and I'm like, this is exactly what this dude warned us about before they shot him. Surprise, another assassination, right? It's like, thank you, Steph. I see parallels here with Charlie Kirk and Malcolm X's assassination. And it's just like, it's an opposite but equal kind of argumentative assassination that happened, kind of like, well, you're saying this in a certain way, that's too much, somebody's got to stop you, versus, oh, this other guy was saying this, and believe it or not, at the end, he was trying to bring peace between the races. They couldn't have that. So there you go. Then you have Martin Luther King Jr. What about those Tennessee State Police, right? Yeah, I'm well aware of it. I used to do a fucking, on TikTok, we did what was that called? It was Black History Month, and I would tell all my followers about a horrifying thing in Black history where people that were black were just like murdered and shit. Yeah, that went over well with TikTok, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really loved that. But yeah, I was like, oh, here's another horrifying tale of Black history. And I would talk about like Medgar Evers, and people were like, no, stop. I don't want to hear any more fucked up shit. I'm like, well, that's what happened. Yeah, TikTok didn't care for that. Nevertheless, though, that's all history. And you can't do anything about history. But I'm just really focused on what's the scoop on with TikTok. It's a fucking piece of shit, Vegas. They are hemorrhaging followers. They are hemorrhaging followers. Fucking Steph. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, I have to look over here because I got this. I got my thing over here. What's up, Bernadette? So my whole thing is, every time I come out and I say, let's not make it about race, religion. You should be sad about Charlie Kirk getting shot, not happy. Why? He was a racist or a bigot, whatever you want to say on the left. But you stopped a free speech beacon. That's the reason, right? If we had the way of the political progressive in Congress, you wouldn't be able to make movies like Blazing Saddles. All right? And I reference that because that's about the extent that you can push good taste, if you want to call that, or any taste at all. You couldn't do that now. And you have to ask yourself, why can't you do that now? Well, it's too racial, but the people that did it were fucking friends. You see what I'm saying? They weren't racist. It was done mocking racism. And this is the kind of thing I wouldn't be able to troll. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, I always bring up the Blues Brothers movie. Because back in the day, during the Blues Brothers, they were on a mission from God, and they were trying to save the orphanage, and they had Nazis in full uniform trying to stop them. And so what did they do? Did they fucking make it, the big bad Nazis? Oh no, what are we gonna do? They're gonna get us, right? And we have to like stamp out and all that. No, they made fun of them. They made fun of the Nazis. That's what we did back in the day. If you had a hate group like the Nazis or the Klan, we just made fun of you until you had no validity. And so it would be like, oh, there's a bunch of Nazis. There'd be like 4 of them marching. And there'd be 85 people mocking them and yelling at them and throwing rotten vegetables and garbage at them. And then they left and they felt like shit. And it's like, well, no, we have to stop that hate speech. It's like, we were, by mocking them and bullying them and making them feel like shit. You have to put humor in things because that's what we do as Americans. We make fun of things until they're no longer valid. Like the Nazis or the KKK, right? That's why nobody, 1941, the movie, oh man, Hogan's Heroes. And it's like, yeah, like Hogan's Heroes. You made fun of the Nazis, Hogan! And you're like, dude, those are Nazis. And it's like, yeah, we're making them look like a bunch of bitches. We're doing that because it ruins the valid. It devalidates. Is that a word? It's not about what they said about Charlie. It's they are able to speak freely. You see, that's the thing. If you get fired from your job because your employer sees it, that's not a violation of free speech because the employer made the decision. Unless the employer was coerced by the government. And that's where we're dealing with the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Now, do you have proof of that? That's the whole thing. So, hold on. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but have you ever read 1984? Yes, absolutely. And Animal Farm. And I've seen They Live. Holy shit. So, this is where the Jimmy Kimmel thing gets a little hairy. So, I want to go over this again. So, you have Jimmy Kimmel fired from ABC for offensive comments about Charlie Kirk being killed because he said it was MAGA that did it. Okay. So, ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely, saying his comments are insensitive. However, ABC maintains that it was not the FCC or the Trump administration, but it was their own decency standards as to why Jimmy Kimmel was canceled. Now, that's ABC's position. Sinclair and other affiliates say we're not going to have him until he's apologizing, which I don't think he will, but I think he'll be back at some point. Nevertheless, the FCC stated that basically the Trump administration and them were looking in to this type of shit that's considered indecent. Now, the FCC states that they can pull ABC's license because of decency standards, which that's why you can't say fuck, shit, motherfuck, bitch, and a bunch of other cock and other shit, cunt, on national television, because you have these decency standards. Now, here's the crux. Did the Trump administration order the FCC to fire Jimmy Kimmel by withholding a license, potentially? Or did the FCC do it on their own with ABC? Or was there an implication that the Trump administration was going to tell them they would lose their license? George Carlin. I love George Carlin's great. Absolutely. So, the Democrats say that there's a pending merger with certain organizations, and that is why Kimmel was fired, so that those mergers will go through. Conservatives are saying that it was because of a violation of decency standards. Now, frankly speaking, I heard what Kimmel said. And though I thought it was an abject lie, because I know the history of the whole situation that happened with Charlie Kirk, I didn't really see a major violation. Now, I thought it was funny that he was fired because I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. I thought other people should have done late night. I don't dislike Jimmy Kimmel because of what he's saying, even though I think he's a douchebag. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel because I think that people like Conan O'Brien should have gotten the position. And there were others. I would even have liked to have seen Bill Burr possibly in a position, maybe a couple other people. So I thought it was very low ball to get the same, like Stephen Colbert. Really? Over Jon Stewart or over Bill Maher? Are you fucking kidding me? You give second stringer, I don't care what you say about Colbert, you give second stringer Colbert a show and you didn't give Jon Stewart what the fuck is wrong with you? What about Bill Maher? What about Joe Rogan? Why isn't he doing something? Yeah, where are these fucking, a lot of people are funnier. Well, it was a political narrative. They were all the same thing. And I see this in Hollywood all the time. Remember when the movie, what was that movie that Julie liked? Juno, right? With that kind of soft-spoken kid that got the girl pregnant, right? And then there was that group of people, Hollywood.
Was it Juno or was that Knocked Up?
Well, Knocked Up, that same kind of group of people all came together. And so it's like Hollywood and media works in these like kind of cliquey bullshits. So it's not that I wanted to see a conservative up there necessarily. I wanted to see somebody that was more three-dimensional than just nothing but Trump jokes. And it's like, I used to see Johnny Carson and David Letterman with the little skits they used to do. And the fucking, the stupid dog pet tricks and the people bringing in fucked up inventions and, word on the street with Jay Leno and then these type of things. What's up, America? But then you see Jimmy Kimmel and it's just like, Trump joke. Okay. Trump joke. Okay. Another Trump joke. I'm like, okay, look, I get it. You don't like Trump. Wonderful. Are you talented or what the fuck is this? And it's the same with Stephen Colbert. Jon Stewart would have done better. But he was saying shit that was a little too raw for you about governments and about business, particularly about big corporations. So you couldn't do that. So you couldn't do it. What about Joe Rogan? You put him in a podcast. Why? Because you said he was a racist because he liked to be a masculine guy. It's like, what? He's living in LA. Nobody's a fucking conservative out there. Even Joe Rogan. He has conservative leanings. Even Alex Jones isn't fucking as hyped as you think. At least that's what I believe. I don't know these fucking people. You know what I'm saying? But it's like these people deserve mouthpieces. Back in the day, I mean, I don't understand if conservatives or liberals understand. Back in the 70s and 80s, if you showed a fucking tit on television, that was grounds for your show to be canceled. Right? The FCC's been a bastard for years. So back in the day, if you said fuck, you were fined 10 grand.
Janet Jackson's boob came out in the halftime show.
Yeah, Janet Jackson's tit came out at the halftime show. Everybody freaked the fuck out. Oh my God, I saw Janet Jackson's floppy top. Holy fuck. Dude came out and ripped her tit out. And everybody's like, oh, it was on tabloids. They were fining. Oh my God. The fucking Christian right pissed in their face. It was a shit show. I was like, what? I mean, Dee Snider went before Congress because his music was satanic. You have to go before Congress. Remember growing up with the explicit lyrics? They wanted to blank out any reference of drugs. You couldn't say weed. You couldn't say, remember, go on YouTube and look up the fucking old, wanna be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala, caller, they would blank out get laid tonight. They would blank out Swisher rolled tight. Why? Why would they blank it out? Well, it was a reference to weed. It's like reference to weed. Swisher rolled tight. Well, no, people make blunts out of it. God told it. Jesus said you can't do that. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? So there's been this free speech horse shit back and forth for decades. I've seen it for years. Right? I've seen this shit. The Clintons tried to do it. There was a woman named Tipper Gore, Al Gore's fucking stupid ass wife. That bitch was the one that was like the head of the Christian Coalition for Moral Order that was trying to get naughty words taken out because the devil was coming through the lyrics and the music. I'm like, holy fuck, these people are insane. It's like, yeah, Tipper was she was a drunk, exactly, thank you. She was like the Christian conservative getting shit-faced. All of these people that are like the Christian Coalition for Moral Order people, they're all the same people that are fucking like the addicts and the pedos and shit like that. It's always been that way. People hide in the cloth. They always have. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is do you want to tax the Catholic Church, or do you think that's a bad idea? What's your position on taxing the church? Don't forget to subscribe and share and gift. Apparently gifts are on YouTube now. Thank you. Don't talk shit to me too. I'm trying here. I'm trying to bring the light right and the left. So this is what I just want to say to the left. You're coming on a little strong with the shit talking. Pull it back a little for people, okay? Like really, like that people want to be peaceful with you. Like people on the right, like I'm not a conservative all the way. I'm a financial conservative as far as like economic classes, but I'm a social liberal. So what the fuck do you want from me? Well, I want you to be an economic communist. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a communist with my economics. I want to buy too much shit and travel too much. Okay? Call me a selfish fuck with it. I don't know. I want to go to Japan once before I die. Okay? So, call me a fuck. I don't care. By the way, if anybody out there is rich, don't forget to gift up here and cash at me down there pinned on my comment and take me to Japan and I'll film there for you. Yeah, I've never done, like I lived in Australia twice, okay? I went to college down there and I fucking lived there when I was 12. I got a degree in Indiana, all right? I went to grad school in Indiana. What do you want from me? I got a degree in anthropology and I went to grad school for nonprofit management. I can tell you about history and culture and I can run a business, all right? I got robbed by a guy from Bangladesh for the money we were going to use for a nonprofit to start a water charity in Zambia, in Africa. Didn't work out. Right? Yeah, I don't want to wait in line for bread either. Exactly. And so it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Is there any coming down? Is there any, like, I think it's ghoulish not to help the poor, the elderly, and let people die with treatable diseases or treatable surgeries. So like if you have HIV and they're like, I'm just not going to give you medicine. I have it, but fuck you. Right? Like what the fuck is wrong with you? That's fucked up. Like you're a kind of a cunt. Right? Fuck you, asshole. Or if you're like, well, okay, like you have cancer. Okay, well, I have this drug that will cure you 80% of the time, but instead I'll just give you some chemotherapy and watch you fucking die. The church is not, yes, it is. That's right, Vegas. It is Vegas. And so I'm just like, why are you not helping the elderly? Why are you letting them sit in their piss and shit? Like, but at the same time, why do some of you not want to work and put in your fair share? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's extremes here. Why are you charging so much for student loans? Right? Most colleges are paid for by tax money, except for private universities. So your public universities are paid for by your tax dollars and endowments, generally. So why do you need a $50,000 student loan? You don't. College should be no more than $5,000 for a fucking bachelor's degree. A master's degree, maybe $5 more grand to cover expenses for people. You know, the state would already pay for this. Private universities take a loan out and pay for it. That's why they're there. No person should be in debt this much. But what did we do with our student loan debts? Let's be honest, right? I'm not going to fuck around here. What did I do with my student loan debt? It's the same thing everybody else did when they were 18, 19, 20 years old. You took 2/3 of the money and you spent it on college, books, and your car. You lived at home and you took some of the money and you bought shit with it for yourself, or you even traveled with it. That's what you did with it. Paid off some bills. Somebody says weed. And it's like you didn't mean to, but you also had to have some money in your pocket. So you say, okay, well, I can pay that back. That's great. And you were paying your student loans back. But then coronavirus came and everything shut down. So then you didn't pay your student loans because you said, fuck it, I don't have to pay it. And they increased the interest rates during that time without telling you. So now you're paying it back at a rate you can't afford. And instead of paying your student loans, you're not paying it. You're paying for your rent and your food and everything else, because if you paid your student loans, you would be homeless. Am I right? That's correct. So you have student loans. You have thousands of dollars. You have 50 grand in student loans, but you haven't paid a dime, because if you do, you know they'll have your bank account and they will rob you. And you will not be able to pay your rent or your food. And so you defer them, you make up excuses. I told somebody I was doing work in Singapore once. Remember that? I lied to a debt collector and said, I'm going to be doing work in Singapore. I did a whole month of gathering money to pay for it, came back, called them and said, I just got back, lied my ass off to buy me another month to pay the bill. Oh, yes. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to mince words. We used the money for expenses and some of it we squandered, but it wasn't as much as you think. Most of it was living, and that's all it was. So now we have to pay it back, but you compound the interest daily, and on top of that, you raise the interest rates when it was deferred by the government during the Rona. So now we're all paying more, and if you pay, you'll go homeless, because under Biden, prices went double. So it's a perfect storm. You have too much debt, you can't pay for it because you don't make enough money, and prices are double for everything because Biden was sucky with other people price gouging. And so you look at it and you say, I'll never pay it off. So I see people online all the time that say, I owed 40 grand in student loans. I paid 10 grand. I owe 40 grand. I owe 50 grand in student loans. I paid 30,000. I owe $49,000. So how the fuck is that? So you owe 50 grand, you paid 30, yet you owe 49. Well, the interest just every day, and every payment's an interest payment, unless I'm paying $1,500 a month. If I pay the minimum, which is $850, which is ballooned up to shit show town, then that's how it is. So what do? We owe the money to the student for the student loans. We owe the money, so we have to pay it. But I feel like we're being fucked on the interest rates. Like, that's a problem. Like, my average monthly payment would be half if you lowered the interest rate. So then I look at it and I say, is the government just profiteering? Are they just loan sharks? Yes, in my opinion, the government's a loan shark. Now, the government shouldn't be making interest off of this. So I don't mind paying the student loans. The interest is the problem. So it's not for conservatives. They're like, oh, if you don't pay it, you're a deadbeat. We are paying it, but the interest won't let us get around it. So if you owe 50 grand and you pay 30 and you still owe nearly 50, what the fuck are we doing here? We should pay 0% interest. So when I owe 50 grand, I'll give you 50 grand and I'll pay it all off. But I shouldn't pay you 100 grand for 50 grand. That's drug dealer shit. Right? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, why are you, the government? Well, technically you owe us 1.6 trillion. Yeah, nobody's paying their student loans. Have you seen it? 78% of people aren't paying their loans. So you're threatening and you're going to make them homeless. Nobody's listening to you. Well, they will when we take their money. How? What are they going to do? Make triple the money? You're just going to make it worse. You're just going to send people to homelessness. And then they're going to have to beg, barter, and steal to live. And you think crime's bad now? Well, when you add 2 million people to homeless population, it's going to get really bad. They are, look, this is what they said. I'm reading directly from what the government said itself. Trump's student loan plan would bring in $1.2 trillion, and it would cost America $6 trillion in lost wages and lost fucking revenue. Right? So you'll initially get a bolster of, I think they said in 5 years it was $800 billion. And then by the end of 10 years, it would be 1.4 trillion, give or take. But in the same time, you would actually lose $6 trillion of productivity of people that lost jobs, that weren't hired because of failing credit scores. So what happens is the student loans, once you default on your student loans, your credit score will go down an average of 150 points. When that happens, you won't get hired. So those people that could do these very good jobs with exotic degrees and shit like that won't get hired now. And if they're not hired, then that's an income gain loss. The determination was a loss of a potential of 1.5% GDP from Donald Trump's student loan bill. So I've been against this the whole time because you have to make it 0% interest or all these people are fucked. And no matter what, Scott Bessent, and like, this is a Scott Bessent job. Let me just tell you. Okay, so I see it and it's like something has to give with the student loans because it's coming to a head. And I mean, all of it's negative. There's no gain here. It's not a positive thing. Yeah, credit scores are pieces of shit. I need to add something to that with my government because credit scores are a piece of shit. And you know I'm telling the truth. And it's the same with third-party debt collecting. How can you buy $5,000 of debt for $20 and then sue someone for $5,000 and you get it? The fuck is that not fucking extortion? So I want to talk about just one thing. Hold on a second. By the way, I've liked being able to be on on YouTube because I can say cunt here. See? Cunt. Nobody gives a shit. So I can say fuckwit and dodgy cunt. So real quick, hold on. Sorry about that. I know I've been kind of meh. I didn't mean to yell at all those fucking people earlier, but like, goddamn, some of you people need to slow your fucking roll. Like, you have to know somebody first. Yeah, everybody can say, okay, yeah, you say the word great. So, like, yes, I voted for Donald Trump. Do I regret it? It depends on which part, right? That's my whole thing. It's like, at least I admit it. Other people won't admit it. And it's like, yes, I voted for Donald Trump. I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden. Did you see him? Holy fuck. Did you also see Kamala Harris? So, like, there's like a 3-minute compilation of her talking about jailing people for social media posts. Like, I don't want that shit. Right? It's not your policies. It's you're picking the wrong people. Democrats, you're picking the wrong people. Right? It's like you are picking fucking assholes. Right? Republicans always, they will be doing that in the future. But come on, man. You're picking the wrong people. First of all, some of the people are like implicated in crimes. Like, what the fuck? Anyway. So Donald Trump's student loan reforms primarily enacted through the big, beautiful bill signed July 2025, which is a steaming turd for the most part, and an executive order in March 2025 overhaul income-driven repayments, restricts public service loan forgiveness. So that's another thing. You can't have your loans forgiven. That's fucked up. That'll make it so people don't want to be in medicine and certain nonprofit capabilities or in any police or fire capabilities. And phases out several Biden programs. Critics, including borrower advocates, attorney generals, and unions like the American Federation for Teachers, argue these changes prioritize taxpayer costs over borrower relief, potentially worsening financial strain for millions of people. Of course, absolutely. Why wouldn't that be? People are so poor under Joe Biden, and you want to take more from them and say, well, I know you have no money because of living under Joe Biden. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take more money from you under the student loan bullshit. And it's like you're already hurting vulnerable people. Anyway. So the negative benefits, less affordable repayment options, right? So instead of having a flat minimum of $50, some people, or for every $10,000, some people are now going to the point of paying up to $3,000 a month. Advocates are warning that it's going into a debt trap. Some people paying as much as 19% interest rates for student loans. So people are falling into a never-ending debt trap where even if they pay it, they can't pay it off. Extended forgiveness timeline has been extended by 30 days, which is not very good. They say that disproportionately hurts public servant pursuing. Politicizing of public service loan forgiveness. I always thought public service loan forgiveness was how we should be doing it. I don't know why we're doing that, not doing that. Like if you work for the police, fire, or a nursing or nonprofits of some kind, you should have your loans forgiven or reduced. I don't know why the fuck that incentivizes good behavior. We have an elimination of key protections. So Donald Trump's bill eliminates graduate and professional plus loans. I had those. Effective July 1st, 2026. Caps parent plus loans at $65K and ends borrower defense to repayment expansion. This limits access for graduate students and families, potentially curbing economic mobility and raising default risks without affordable alternatives. That's the sector I'm in right now because I have plus loans for graduate school. Oh yeah, well of course job ed, yeah, and of course that's always going to happen. That's par for the course in the United States. I mean, shit. But you see, that's not the average person, though. That's the government. You have to understand the difference. So when people come attacking from overseas and shit, it's not the American citizen, it's the government. The American citizen doesn't have any say. That's all a perception that's not real, in my opinion. And then, of course, you have oversimplification of the borrower system. So according to what we're seeing here, the monthly payment on student loans under Donald Trump's plan has doubled the monthly payment. So, for instance, if you were paying $250 a month, you're now paying $480 a month. So nearly 50%. The forgiveness timeline has increased under Trump's, making the government more money on interest. You're disqualified now for a lot of times and on certain loans, and you have a loan limit now, which is good in some cases and bad in others. So also we're having payment increase disruptions. So because of the payment increases on student loans, we're now facing a 34-year high of people not paying their student loans as people are prioritizing necessities like rent and food with car over paying their student loans. Duh, obviously. Forgiveness delays and denials. Debt forgiveness is being delayed or denied. Tax liability for debt forgiveness. Some people paying up to 37% taxes on so if you have your loans forgiven, you're paying taxes now on it. That's fucking ridiculous. And broader economic strain of people making less or $38,000 or less a year are digging deep into debt, as now 75% of people are no longer paying student loan debt. You all right over there, baby?
Tired.
Hold on a second. What time is it? Are you just high and tired? Because I was only going to go till around like midnight or whatever, 11:30.
Didn't we start at 7:30 or 8?
No, I started at almost 9. Yeah. I was watching Curtis Connor till 8:40-ish, 8:30. Yeah, Curtis Connor. That's a good guy right there. It's funny shit. So here's the estimates right here. The affected scale of Donald Trump's student loan plan. And I've been talking against this for a long time. The reforms impact 43 million Americans with federal student debt. The most vulnerable groups are those in low-wage jobs or with high debt loads, giggity. Those are at the highest risk of housing fallout. So 8 million former SAVE enrollees. These borrowers, many low income, now face paused payments with accruing interest or switches to a costlier plan. Double the payments. So that's the first thing. Over 1 million people are waiting for applications in limbo for affordable care options or affordable options. 2 million people are now defaulted. So 2 million people, since Trump did this, are now eligible for wage garnishment. That means these people will be losing 15% of their disposable income and credit damage of 150 points, which can trigger landlord rejection and forced evictions. And 1.8 million teachers and public workers report hikes going double on their loans. So as of right now, 2 million people are at risk of being homeless. So that's approximately 30% of all people making under $40,000 a year. The average credit score loss will be 154 points for 20% of the population of the United States. California and New York should see an average of a 10% increase in homelessness, with Midwestern states seeing a 2 to 5% increase, and Southern states seeing up to a 12% increase in homelessness. Initially, by the beginning of 2026, 200,000 additional people will be at risk of homelessness. By 2027, 500,000 to 1 million will be at new risk of homelessness, with 37% increase in extreme poverty, with a 20% increase in regular poverty below the line. Worst case scenario is that there will be no tax-free forgiveness payments that are double, with up to 20% of people that are defaulted becoming homeless. Meaning that would be 20% of 8 million people. So that's a little more than 2 million extra homeless people. 2.5 million, give or take. So that's why I don't like that particular aspect of Donald Trump's big shitty fucking bill. But I did not like it initially, and anybody that followed me on TikTok already knows that I bitched about it for 2 fucking weeks. Anyway, I don't think there's enough for a civil war. I think the Civil War's I think it's, if anything, a onesie. Yeah, BlackRock's a piece of shit. BlackRock's a monopoly, and we need to come after them. But you have to understand, if you want to make this country work, you have to have a little bit of the liberal and a little bit of the conservative. You can't do everything. You can't say fiscal progressivism works. And you can't say that capitalism works either. And you can't say that fucking socially liberal, all values like that work. But you also can't say that staunch conservatism won't work either. You have to have more freedom. Both of you are just on the side of totalitarianism. So the liberals that we're seeing now are on the side of totalitarians, like Maoism or Shiism or Stalinism. But the conservatives are also totalitarians because they're both above the main point line of the political compass. So I don't know what to tell you. There's not much you can do. As long as you have a liberal and a conservative party that are not libertarian in nature, you have a lack of freedom, right? So if you have modern libertarianism now, or modern, like Kamala Harris was slightly to the left, still up at the totalitarian area. If you look at Trump, he's slightly to the right, but right about where Kamala Harris was on the totalitarian scale. So there wouldn't be much difference between Trump and Kamala except their social ideology. The way they did business would still be the same. Fuck you, do what I say, or we'll beat the fuck out of you. That's about the mentality of either side. So you want somebody that's a little more libertarian on the aspect of doing, because the more libertarian, you have more freedom, but you also have less involvement from the government. So a lot of people don't like that because they want a social safety network. And you say, well, how do we do that? I know how you do it because I am one. It's called a social libertarian. So people on YouTube are generally smarter than on TikTok. So you'll be able to understand what I'm saying here. So if you go to the top of the political compass, it's totalitarian. So it's like a dictatorship, right? And if you go to the bottom of the political compass, it's a libertarian, right? So that means more freedom, less government. So the anarchists are down at the bottom, and the staunch Nazis and communists are up at the top. So Trump and Kamala are right here next to each other upwards. Just Kamala's this way left and Trump's this way right. Right? You want people that are down here so that they are more freedom-based. That's libertarian. So also, if you're a left-wing or right-wing libertarian, you're not as far apart as you think. So left-wing and right-wing libertarians, even though one's a conservative and one's a liberal, are united on the fact that leave me alone and mind your business. You see? So a right-wing conservative will say, or libertarian will say, I want my land, I want my Second Amendment rights, all this other shit. Leave me alone, fuck the government. And the left-wing libertarian will say, I like my socialism, but leave me alone, fuck you, government. I want, both of those sides want less regulation. So libertarian conservative will say, I don't like abortion, but I'm not going to stop you doing it because, well, it's none of my business. And a left-wing libertarian will say, hey, you have a lot of guns, but you're not coming here, so it's none of my business. You see how minding your business really works? So then that scale of mind your business, as you become more totalitarian, the mind your business scale gets closer to now I'm making it my business. Until you go to the totalitarian level, now every little thing is my business. And so everybody on the left and right fighting over microscopic little shit like we're doing now, that's how you know you're living in a totalitarian society. The less people bitch about small shit in government, because it doesn't matter. So I want to build a fence. Well, you have to have a permit from the city. Well, I need to argue, well, it's this high. Well, I don't want it this high. See, there's an argument there that just starts out of nothing. But if the city says, I don't care how high you build your fence, it's not my business. Oh, listen to there being no argument. See how that works? If you say, well, we're putting people in jail for not paying taxes, and we're going to issue and put liens on your car, blah, 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 blah. But if you just say you don't have to pay taxes, where's the argument? There becomes no argument. You see? Like, oh, well, I'm gay and I'm married to a guy. I'm a conservative. I don't believe in gay marriage. You going to stop me marrying this guy? Nope. Why? Well, I'm a conservative libertarian. It's not my business who you fuck. Oh, so you mean, yes, I'm a Christian conservative, but I don't really care who you put your dick in. It's not my concern. Well, what do you mean? I thought that, well, no, if it was my concern, like if you were coming to my window and waving your dick in my face, then it might be a concern. Other than that, it's not really my concern. It doesn't like pertain to me, so I don't really give a fuck. Right? But the more Karen you become, the more totalitarian you are. Right? And so that's where we're living here in America. And so you have to say, well, what's my Karen factor? Do I want to tell everybody what to do? You can't fish here. This is a HOA only pond. Well, if you're like that, you probably shouldn't be in government. You're a bitch. Right? You're driving 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. I have to notify the police department. You don't need to be in government. You're a fucking Karen. Look at you. You can't mind your business. You see, and minding your business is really the cornerstone of a good government. It really is. Like, hey, I want to legalize weed. Well, you can't do that. It's against, it'll make you fuck up think of the children. What about Jesus? Well, I don't know. That's a lot of argument for legalizing weed. But if you just minded your business, you wouldn't know I was smoking it. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, so if you don't come looking for me doing it, then you'll never care if I'm doing it. It's like if a tree falls in the woods. Does anybody, and no one's around, does anybody hear it? If I grow a crop of weed and nobody notices it, finds it, or looks for it, am I really actually doing anything wrong? And the answer is absolutely not. Right? And this is what I was kind of wondering. It could be an entertaining factor. Oh, God, I don't live in a double-wide neighborhood. But imagine how much happens when you quit caring about what another motherfucker does. It's so liberating to not give a shit. I hear my neighbors over there doing something. It's not my business. I'm driving. I saw a guy drive on the shoulder, and it's not my business. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of mentality. But the more they'll just empty the shitter in your yard. But the more business you make it, the more totalitarian you are. And that's what we're seeing. So like with the social justice movement, you came on a little strong because you were trying to tell people what to do. If somebody wants to be a bigot at their house, why is that a problem? You don't have to hear it, see it, and you're not going to hang out with a bigot. They're going to hang out with people like themselves. They're not going to come to a Black Panther rally, right? So what's it matter? Fuck them. Let them just be stupid, right? You're not going to hang out with Nazis. What, are you going to go to a Patriot Front rally in March? No. So shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. Just look at it as a joke and move on. You know, why do I have to wear a seatbelt? Exactly. Well, it's for your own safety. That's because the insurance companies probably don't want to pay out. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to have to pay out for damages, probably. Children? Okay, so I saw this earlier. Anarchy in Chicago as a female Democrat is slammed by ICE outside of a facility. I saw that. Urgent warning to parents as a new disturbing trend sweeps nationwide. What? Public schools across the country have issued parental warnings as students have been filming themselves urinating as part of a new TikTok trend. Middle and high school students have hopped on board the bizarre pisser trend, which encourages teens to record themselves pissing on school property and uploading the footage on social media. Schools say it's creating unnecessary work for their staff as they maintain clean school spaces. Now you see, this is the shit I'm talking about. People are so fucking bored and stupid that they're pissing in public. We used to call that drunk asshole behavior. What else do we have? Meghan Markle, I'm almost done. 5 airports shut as 5,000 flights are canceled or delayed. I already talked about that earlier. Raging old man stabs a caregiver over a trivial argument. And people say Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, and all of them are going against Trump and they have more power, blah, blah, blah. Sydney Sweeney, I don't know why you have really a problem with her. Candace Owens is stupid. So Candace Owens, honey, is mad that she got snubbed because Charlie Kirk didn't ask her to come in. So
Come in where?
to appear at the funeral and all this other shit. So here's the thing with
I didn't know they sent invitations for funerals.
Yeah, playing hockey and getting drunk. Fuck yeah, Vegas guy.
Hooky.
What? Hooky. So here's the thing about Candace Owens. Holy fuck. Okay. So Candace Owens used to work at Turning Point USA, which was Charlie Kirk's situation. Before she worked at Turning Point USA, Candace Owens used to be a leftist online agitator. So she changed her political viewpoints and started working at Turning Point USA. She got fired from Turning Point USA. She's done 6 or 7 other projects, all which she's been fired from or what she's failed. So now Candace Owens is a YouTuber. Granted, she's more popular than people like me. Nevertheless, she now is saying that her and Charlie Kirk were good friends, which is fucked up because they weren't. And she's saying that, watch her clip of her, okay, I'll check it out, Steph. I just know she went fucking all out and fucking went off today or yesterday. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I haven't seen everything she's done either. Nevertheless, from what I understand, now she's saying that she was a friend of Charlie Kirk's, but Charlie Kirk had nothing to do with her really and hasn't done anything project-wise with her. So it's up in the air whether she is. So now Candace Owens went on a rage after being snubbed from the Charlie Kirk Memorial speaker roster. So, Charlie Kirk on September 21st. That's the funeral, right? Okay, so Charlie Kirk's funeral is September 21st, starting at 11 a.m. Service starting at 2 or 11 a.m. Service starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, in Glendale, Arizona. So, speaking at Charlie Kirk's funeral, we have remarks given by Erica Kirk, the widow. Donald Trump will be there, as well as J.D. Vance. So protesters will get the fuck beat out of them. So watch out. You'll have Chief of Staff Susie Willis, Marco Rubio, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump Jr., Tucker Carlson, come on, Stephen Miller, and Sergio Gore. So, more names to be announced. So now Candace Owens is saying that she didn't get a chance to speak at this event, and now she's pissed. Now, here's an image in 2018 of Candace Owens with Charlie Kirk, then a Turning Point USA employee, listening to President Trump as a Young Black Leadership Summit at the White House, October 26, 2018, in Washington, D.C. Now, I don't know if there was fallout or what it was. Now, a lot of people want me to speak, at least on TikTok, about fucking Israel. And they keep thinking that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk getting shot. I'm here to tell you that that's not true. It's not true because the Mossad is not everywhere. So you have to understand that this was not an Israeli job. There's multiple fucking things saying it wasn't. And that's fine. You don't have to believe me one way or another. But this was not a Mossad fucking job. And so I just don't think it is. I don't think the Mossad is capable. Not even capable. They're definitely capable. That's not what I mean. What I mean is the evidence that I've seen. I've already seen the people with the hand signals and the shit like that. They've already... The guy with the shirt doing this did not have a pistol. The fucking hand signals are the only thing I worry about. Now, is it a 9/11 type of thing where it's like, well, we knew but didn't say anything? What's the situation? The 22-year-old is not capable enough to be part of this. This is some dumbass from Utah. And so it's like, well, what about the Mossad? It's like, it's not. It's not the Mossad. Not everything's the fucking Mossad. I will say that there are other things that you should focus on that probably are, that nobody's getting any airtime with at all. Like, do you really think that people aren't in Venezuela already? You know what I'm saying? Do you really think people aren't in Gaza already, in certain areas, in capacities nobody knows about? Do you think people aren't in Lebanon and Syria and in Europe monitoring what's going on? Of course they are. They're just not doing what a lot of people think, because the conspiracy theories have gotten out of control. Because they're the fake ones. Like Flat Earth is trending, for fuck's sakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that they did and there's certain things that they didn't. So like the Israeli agents that were at the embassy that were laughing about it. Yes, those are Talmudic individuals. Those are not fucking, I mean, it is. But this kid did not shoot, this Mossad did not shoot Charlie Kirk. I mean, they just didn't. They just didn't. It has, I don't help but don't hurt either. Exactly. See, when we're just here, you know what I'm saying? But the Mossad didn't do this job, right? It's got all the fucking cases and factors behind. One, a guy shooting. Two, a guy falsely saying he did it to throw the shooter off. Three, you have the Discord messages. You even have audio of the killer. That came out on the Daily Mail. So you have DNA evidence there, where his hands were, where he's on camera going down. Everything is point and click yes on this one. I hate to say it, but it's not Mossad on this one. It's just not. Right? And then it's never going to be Mossad, because there's also an element of sick fucks here that we didn't used to have. Anyway, last story. An ABC TV station was hit by gunfire Friday afternoon, one day after protesters gathered outside and rallied against its network's decision. Police say the broadcasting station in Sacramento, what a surprise, was struck by at least 3 bullets in what they're calling a drive-by shooting. No injuries were reported, but the shots hit a window that faces the streets, and people were inside the building at the time, according to Sacramento police. We haven't had a lot of attacks on our media partners, and we'd like to keep it that way. Officer Anthony Gamble of the Sacramento Police Department said, to those that may have been responsible for this, I hope you see that we're not going to stop looking for you, blah, blah, blah. And there's bullet holes outside of ABC 10 News in Sacramento. So there's that. Fantastic news. And the news is the same old bullshit. ICE is going. They're trying to cancel people. I don't care if they were mocking Charlie Kirk. You deserve to be canceled. Fuck you. Suck a dick, dumb shits. That's what I got to say. Thank you, BoJack Horseman. And the rest of the news is, a couple people were expelled for making fun of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I'll admit they own us. But this wasn't Mossad. This just wasn't Mossad this time. Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin involved furry porn video games depicting pedophilia. Come on. Some people are just fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Like, there's serial killers that are just fucked up. China defense universities help Russia. Taliban friends pressure UN to accept jihad as Security Council. By the way, Donald Trump's trying to get Bagram Air Force Base back. And Colin Kaepernick. So listen to this shit. So it's the last story I'll say, because it has to be. There was a black 20-year-old that was found hanged in a tree at a university near a pickleball court. Now, the family says don't spread anything bad. The autopsy report says that there's no foul play. The family wants an independent investigation, as others are saying it's foul play. So out of nowhere, Colin Kaepernick is funding an independent autopsy for the black student Trey, I can't remember his last name, down in Mississippi, found hanging from a tree. Now, of course, the history of Mississippi, look about like I would be wanting an independent investigation. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying some shit didn't happen. Maybe he wasn't happy, whatever. Yeah, no, he was like a white 32-year-old. And he hung himself outside of a casino in Vicksburg, Mississippi. So the next day after, it was
the same day.
Was it the same day? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's fucked up. Now, was it a liberal? Was it is Mississippi covering it up? I don't know, but that's going to get some airtime coming up. So Colin Kaepernick is funding that, which is really weird. It is a horrible situation, Vegas. I gave up MSN 20. Fuck yeah, damn right. Don't watch any major media. Yeah, tell me about it, Steph. I'm just going on what the evidence shows that I've seen here. This is one of those things. Thank you, Tony, by the way. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. I know you guys have been gifting. This is my first time getting gifts here. Outside of you guys giving like memberships and the big gifts and stuff like that, where it comes up I don't know what super chats. I've gotten some of those. This is the first time I've gotten actual gifts, so that's awesome. I know some of you don't like my politics. I don't give a fuck. I know I had 300 people here at one point, 400, and I know liberals are just attacking and frothing mouth. I'm not your fucking MAGA hardcore, but I'm not your liberal, and I just can't stand. Like, I have a lot of anger towards liberals, not because of their policy, but because of how you've treated me. Like, you've threatened my family with death. I don't have to accept that. Like, I have no problem calling the cops on motherfuckers. Well, yeah, and it does, yeah, I don't care if you're a leftist. That's not the thing. You know my politics now. But it's like the whole, like, threatening me with death. That's where it's like, well, you're MAGA. I'm threatening you with death. Well, no, I voted for Trump over Kamala because I didn't like her. I would rather have had Bernie Sanders, but you fucked me over. So I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, had you let Bernie Sanders go, you wouldn't have this problem. Part of me feels it was done on purpose so that they could have a talking point for the next decade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not all leftists are crazy. Exactly. And not all conservatives are some asswipe. But what the big problem is the greed. Like, the left wing, whatever, right? My only problem is violence on that side. The conservatives have to understand that the rich simply have too much. Like, there's no way to really cut it other than saying that. As a financial conservative, there's not enough money to keep the system going, period. The 1,000 people hold $7 trillion. 400 people hold $6.6 trillion. But if you raise minimum wage, they just raise the prices because companies are douchebags. So it's like, what the fuck do you do? If 400 people have $6 trillion, almost 7, but the rest of America gets to live on 2.3 trillion, you gotta take it from them in some case. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's not socialist to say these motherfuckers have too much. And we have too much land, you have too much land, and that doesn't matter. It's everything from the Koch brothers to Bill Gates to fucking Soros, all the way to fucking liberal billionaires. It doesn't matter, right? JB Fitzker, well, I'm going to run for president. I hope you don't. You're a billionaire. Fuck you. I don't want you as president. Well, I'm Gavin Newsom. You're like $500 million. Fuck you. But I don't want you as president. What about JD Vance? What about, they're all millionaires. I don't want you fucks. Can't you make like a business owner? Can't you make like a truck driver president? Maybe somebody, or maybe somebody that's like a teacher, but not a fucking partisan. Maybe a doctor. Hey, I'm a neurologist. Hey, that would be nice to have you as president. Probably have a brain up there. Neurologist would be better than idiot. I don't know. Because he was better. I wanted him more than Kamala. Kamala was talking about fucking jailing people for social media posts. Right? That's not good either. Part of me thinks that you purposely suppressed Bernie Sanders to make America's voice actually not heard. America's voice is not Hillary Clinton or Kamala. It's Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump. That's America's voice. America's voice is Bernie Sanders when it comes to helping the poor and all, going after companies, and then conservative side of Trump with the fucking closing the borders and not paying for illegal aliens. So being, giving social safety nets to poor people, breaking up monopolies, getting rid of Citizens United, exactly like we should, but also not being stupid with immigration and shit like that. And understanding that, like, we have to do some things that are conservative in nature in order to function. But it also means that you don't have to give these rich people everything, because trickle-down economics doesn't work. Yeah, trickle-down economics doesn't work. So if you make, well, I'm worth $1 trillion. Okay, I don't get any money for that. So you being worth $1 trillion doesn't increase my pay at all. I don't get a new car. I don't get a house. I don't get food costs down, gas costs down. No prices have gone down under Trump. So helping the billionaires, once again, doesn't trickle down to you. It never fucking will. Don't know what to tell you. But if you do socialism or communism, then we have greed and stupidity through bureaucracy. So people that need it aren't going to get it because people in charge will steal it, misappropriate it, buy purses and coats with it. So this poor family's going to starve to death. Well, this politician decided that a lobbyist was going to buy him a fur coat and send him to England for a month on a vacation if they voted against the homeless. Hey, nice job. It's like, what the fuck, man? And then I see the liberals fighting over this and the conservatives fighting over this, and all of you are facing the wrong direction. You need to be facing upwards towards the billionaires, the Rothschilds, the fucking Carnegie, all that. They'll think you're not too smart. Great, I went to grad school. Fuck you, asshole. Kurt, oh, I don't think you're very smart. Yeah, I went to grad school. I have more education than you. So that's what it is. I know more than you. I know more about history, science, fucking economics, right? I went to grad school for nonprofit management. I know how to run a business, and I went to school for anthropology. So I know the history, the science, forensic anthropology. Fuck your face. All right? So you can talk shit. I got degrees. I fucking have been overseas. I lived with Aboriginals. Fuck you, idiot. Who the fuck do you think you are calling me stupid? Your credentials, I could wipe my ass with. Thank you, Steph. And I don't want to pull rank, but dude, fuck you. Prove you have anything other than YouTube videos and some Dostoevsky novels. What'd you read, the Communist Manifesto twice? Think you got it? Got Mao's little book? Thank you, Steph. Yeah, you don't know shit. And so that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. So, and I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not, thank you, Tony. It's not that I'm a fucking pompous, but it's like they come here, you're not too smart. I'm like, yeah, okay. I have so much education. Fuck you. My wife's got a degree too. We all have degrees. My kid got presidential honors for being gifted in school already. She can graduate high school earlier. So my point is don't talk shit. Come respectful. Don't be a fucking dickhead. That's my point. It's not hard to be a fucking nice guy. It's easy to be a fuckface. Right? And if you want to get in the ring, I'll fuck you up. That's what I always want to say to people that talk shit. You want to talk shit? Okay, let's go in the ring toe to toe. Let's see how much you can talk. That's what I would rather do. I don't give a fuck. Right? I'm 43 years old. You think you're going to damage this face any more than it looks? Come on, dude. Anyway, sorry, just saying. So it's 11:58, time to go. That's the news. Don't know what to tell you. Don't assume you know everything about a person. That's all I can say. Yeah, learn sarcasm. Yeah, and these people are just assholes. Well, you need to fucking... I don't need to do a motherfucking thing. And if I have to pull rank with degrees, I'll show them and I'll lift them out. And then if I show my degrees, you'll just say, you could just have it printed off. And I'll show and it's always something where you're right and I'm wrong. So we're not doing this social media fuckbag shit where the attacker's always right no matter how stupid they are. No, we're not doing that anymore. You're going to learn some fucking respect and some manners. All right? This is mafia shit. That's what we're going to do here from now on. You'll learn respect, you'll learn manners, or you get fucked up. Thank you, Dalton. So anyway, you live on YouTube tomorrow? I should be. I like YouTube. Except, I don't know, it went from 400 to 47. So do I have to talk a certain way? Did I say cunt too many times? Views kind of went down after I said cunt, didn't it? Yeah. 48 and a plant. Oh, very nice, Gillex. Very nice. Which languages? Which languages? I like the history aspect of it. Very nice. Law, give or take on that. It's necessary. I like the history aspect. Mine was Europe in the high Middle Ages. A great deal of that. English. Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay, graduate in language. How many languages do you speak? Hey, what's up, America? Thank you.
Language and literature.
Oh, language and literature. Okay, very nice. I thought Machiavelli sucked. Just going to lay that out there on the table. Was not a fan. Very nice. 5. Very good. Sorry. That's just my thoughts on it. I have a lot more science knowledge usually, at least up to a certain point. They have been finding gluons, which is fantastic. What? Fine. Anyway, so that's it. So I'll be here probably tomorrow. I'll probably start on TikTok, then come over here because fuck TikTok. Bunch of dumb fucks over there. So don't forget to subscribe, share, like, hit the notification button. My wife's giving me one of those looks like, get the fuck off here. And if you think you know my politics, you probably don't. So don't assume, and fuck your face. Subscribe and all that. If you don't like me, block me and hide me on your page. I don't give a fuck. See you later. Bye.